welcome to the number one podcast on the infinite frequency. I am always, as always, your host, L.E.O. Lothbrock. Marnie Moo is asleep over on the bed. I've come into the studio to work, and just for the to give my some of my listeners a kind of idea of the show, I'm also recording a 10-minute video on TikTok, which I'll post just so you can sort of see what it's like for me in the studio, and how the shows get recorded and how the stuff then gets put out there. So first of all, welcome my daywalkers, my creatures of the night, my warriors, my wanderers, and everybody else in between. How are we today? Welcome to you all over the world. You've got all the states over in America, California, you've got people in Brazil, we've got people in some Kitts and Nevis, we've got lots around Europe, France, Germany, Spain. Just the tribe is growing and growing and growing. And again, this is not about me, not at all. It's actually all about the message, and that is what is so important, is that we get to reach people and that none of you are left on your own. So depending where you are in the world, just remember, we're all experiencing this moment at the same time. We're all having now at the same time. Some of you are asleep, some of you just woke up, some of you get ready for bed, and yet we can all share the same moment at exactly the same time. And for me, that's quite a paradox of the universe. I just wanted to make sure everyone's all right. I can't believe how many nice messages I get, nice comments, and it is beautiful. Because the intention of me starting both of these, both doing the podcast, I've been working on the idea was spawned 5 years ago. And then the TikTok stuff that I've started to do lately, it's all about people not being out there and being all on their own. It's very important in this day and age that we are connected when we're part of, and we're not left leaving anybody behind. So that's what my all of my content is all about: recovery, spirituality, and mental well-being. The topic that I will there's two things I'm doing on my show today. One of them, I've got so many questions that people are sending in, absolutely brilliant questions. Some of them have been absolutely funny, some of them are very serious. So what I've done, I've just literally put them, taken them all off. There's no names, I don't read out anybody's names or anything like that, and I find that's the best way to do it, keep it all completely anonymous. And all I'll do is I'll read the questions. So they're in no particular order, it's just however they were sent in, and I've taken them all, written them all down, and that process in itself took a little while to make sure I got the questions exactly as they were sent in, and then we're going to go through them. I'm just going to read the question out and I'll answer it. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a real raw. Normally I've got some kind of idea of where the conversation's going to go or the topic's going to go. And today this takes it completely out of my hands and actually puts the whole episode into the viewers' hands. And you are the ones that are controlling, if you like, the content for today, simply by sending in all of these questions that are absolutely paramount to be answered. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Then, what I will do, and I think I'll do this bit probably first to put us in a state of contemplation, and then maybe some of the other stuff will make more sense. I don't know what the questions are. So, but I'm going to talk about awakening, and I love to listen to past philosophers about their concepts and ideas, and I have my own concepts which I tie into beautifully with some of my favourite philosophers. Alan Watts is one of my favourite, and I know you guys out there in California will resonate with that, and the rest of the world. So it's going to be about talking about being present, and how the past and the future can affect the ability to awaken, to live, to be present, to be who you are. So that's the gist of the show today, which I'm really looking forward to. As you can see, the guys on TikTok, you can see this is my studio. This is what happens. I get up in the morning, I go and do my morning wake-up ritual, and then I come into the office and I go into my studio and I start work. I start creating. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything either, not at all. I'm just trying to give you some knowledge, I guess, that, but it's not my knowledge. It's been found, it's been learned, it's been brought to my attention, however you want to put it, and I'm able to digest it. Then we calibrate it, if you like, and then put it back out into the way that I and the world can understand. I really enjoy doing this. It's become a really fundamental part of who I am. I'm growing into the position, if you like. I'm just growing every single day. So, you know, I am. I'm going to say it out loud now. I am a full-time content creator. I enjoy doing it. It's for no other reason than to share the message and to grow, and hopefully to one day have my own organisation where I can go out and help people directly and give people what was given to me. So, you know, I'm going to wrap it up on the TikTok video. So if you're listening to the audio version, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm now looking directly into the camera, talking to you guys. If you want to see more of this show, if you want to see more and be part of it, and you know, hear the topics on that I go deep into: loneliness, mental well-being, the power of silence, the spiritual leaders, and then, you know, all aspects of recovery, all aspects of spirituality. If you want to be part of that, if you enjoy this, then, you know, check my link below, and you'll see my link to the shows, and it is available on all platforms, and it is freely available out there. So, you know, and if you do come across it and you like it, please follow, please comment. If you've got any questions, keep sending them in, because I love it. And what I'll do is I'll collate, I'll wait till I've got a few, and then again I'll do another episode. So, and even if the questions duplicate, it does not matter, because what you'll find is I happily answer the same question as many times as they eventually come in. And because of the way this show is structured, and the shows are going to be structured around the questions, I'll never know what's coming. So the answers may, you know, they should all be around the same answers, and but not, you know, I don't have like this set list, if you like, of how I'm going to answer something. I really enjoy this part of the show. I'm going to really get to enjoy doing today, where I really just dive in and don't know what's coming. I love it. Anyway, so again, audio viewers, the ones listening to the audio, just hang tight 2 seconds. You guys on TikTok, thank you for finding me. Please like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you want to do. Please comment and please share, and just keep coming back, and stay safe. Remember, I'm here again this evening on the TikTok live. I'll post up the stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go now and get on with my show. But this is it. This is me in the studio. This is what I do. This is what I love. This is who I am. I am L.E.O. Lothbrock. I cannot be you. You cannot be me. You are you. I am I. He is he. They are they. As inside, as outside, as above, as below. Anyway, I love each and every single one of you so much. So I'm just going to end the TikTok little video and stick that up, and then I'm going to crack on with my day and get on to work. Peace, guys. Right, that's that done. So, welcome to all of you. So yeah, you heard what we're going to do today. I am going to go into questions and answers. All of the questions have come in from listeners through various different methods, which is really cool. So yeah, everyone has been writing in, and that's really cool. So, here we go. Let's get into it. So, I'm going to talk about, first of all, here, we are going to talk about awakening. I'm going to give you my take on it, things I feel I've learned, and so just sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy the show. So, spiritual awakening. What if you're already awake? So that might sound a little bit crazy, right? So here it is, right? We seem to chase awakening like it's something, it's hiding in the distance. It's something we're trying to strive to be. It's you know, if I do this, if I follow that, if this happens, then I will, you know, I will step closer to it. If I follow these steps, then I will finally become awakened. You know, we meditate, we read, we search for signs, and we follow teachers. Now, let me ask you something. What if we're already awake? What if we are already awake? And, you know, I say, I am I, you are you. You can't be me, and I can't be you. And yet, we spend our whole lives trying to find ourselves by looking anywhere but here, in the now. Think of it this way, right? Think about the problems that keep you up at night. Think about any of the problems that you may have now, right? Now, when you think about them, have you noticed something? They tend to live in two places. They tend to live either in the past, as in behind you, or ahead of you, in the future. The past, the future. They're like two buildings you can't enter. Nobody ever has. They're there, but nobody's ever gone into them. Because we can only live in the now. We're in a building. We're in a beautiful building. Because the past, you see, is sealed. You can't walk back into yesterday and change the script. And that building that we keep looking back at, that we can't get to, it holds so much weight. And the future, the other building that we tend to look at, and it looks beautiful, and that's where we want to be, that's everything we want. But we can't get there. There's no road to it. It's like it exists, but it doesn't exist. It's just scaffolding, waiting for your breath to build it. So isn't that interesting? Tell me, where are your problems right now, in this moment? Literally now. And you might say to me, oh yeah, well, what something's going to, I've got this later on, or this has happened, or yesterday I've got to deal with this from yesterday. You see? There are no problems. We create the problems. We drag them with us into today. We pull them back from the future that may never come. We're pulling things out of that house ahead of us that we can't even get to. How is that possible? You see, if you're saying I've got something later, then you've already let the moment you're in. You've left it. You're not there anymore. You're not being present because you're consumed by that building ahead or the building behind. There is no tomorrow. It never happened. It was always now. And tomorrow, again, it's the same. There is no tomorrow. That's always ahead. There is no yesterday. There is only now. All nows happen at the same time. The eternal present. How many times have you heard people say, be present? Be in the moment, take it in. It's the pulse between breaths. Everything coexists here, now, in this second, and this second, and this second. And have you noticed, in every single now, my past is always behind me. There's nothing I can do. It's done, gone. That building is always there. I can look back and see it, but I can't get to it. So why does it consume me? People ask, they often ask me, how do I awaken? How do I reach where you are? And I smile, because I once asked that too. We kind of think of awakening as something to learn. We will become it. Again, projecting into that building ahead of us, into the future that is never coming. So if that future that we are waiting for is always in the future, then are we actually moving? Or are we just, are we getting anywhere? Are we just, doing lots more things to try and get us to somewhere we can never get to? If you want to play an instrument, find a teacher. If you want to fix an engine, I'd go to a mechanic school. If I wanted to dance, I'd learn from a dancer. So naturally, we look for spiritual teachers, people who seem enlightened. We study them, mimic their words, their habits, their rituals. But here's the paradox. And this is going to blow your minds because, as I said, I have never been trying to sell anybody anything. All you're doing is copying how someone else is being themselves. Say that again. All you're doing is copying how somebody else is being themselves. I am I, you are you, I can't be you, you can't be me. And yet, that's what we try to do. You can't become awake by imitating another's awakening. You awaken by returning to you, to finding out who you are. And how do you do it? You have to be present. You have to look at the now. That's the cosmic joke. You can't see what you already are. The moment you start chasing awakening, you've created the illusion that you're asleep. You're not. You're here. You're now. All I did was step into me, into who I was always going to become. And now, because of that, that's how I live my life. Alan Watts said it perfectly. The desire for enlightenment is itself a form of ignorance. The desire for enlightenment is itself a form of ignorance. Because even stopping the search actually becomes another layer of searching. So what do? We be. We simply exist. We come home to this moment. We remember that we're in the house that we want to be in already. It's beautiful, it's expanding all the time. But we no longer look back, and nor do we shut the door. It's still there, it will always be there. And the future, if you let it go, you will end up there, but not in the future, because you're already there, which is now. So we have to come to this breath, this now. That's where the truth lives. That's where I am I, you are you, as inside, as outside, as above, as below, as the future, as the past, as the present. Right now, as I speak, I've just stepped out of a beautiful hot bath. The water still clung to my skin. I feel the air shift against it. There is no anxiety. There are no problems. At this moment, there is just presence, being. Just being me. And that's it. That's awakening. No fireworks, not visions, no big eureka moment. Just being aware of what already is. I am I, you are you, there is no future, there is no past, there is just now. It all coexists at the same time. So imagine this. Ahead of you stands a magnificent building. You know, everyone sees it. It's glowing, perfect. The place we all want to reach. We write about it, dream about it, worship it. But there's no path to get there, no door, no bridge. Nobody has ever entered it. See, that's the future. And then behind you, there's another grand building. Your past, just as unreachable. It calls you with memories, regret, and ghosts of what was. But you can't go back, you can't change it. So be present, be now. And here's the part most people miss. Like I said, you're in the building. The building you are standing in right now is the most beautiful of them all. It has the most potential. It has everything you could possibly want right here, right now. The walls are alight with light. The floor hums with its life itself. Bless you, sorry. But you don't see it because you're staring out of the window, looking forward, looking backwards, wishing to be something that is never going to come, wishing to go somewhere that you can't get to when you're already in the very place that you want to reach. The building you're in, this moment, this is everything. It's the intersection of all timelines, all choices and all creation. It's where the gods whisper and the soul remembers. When you stop trying to leave now, you realise you've been home all along. So before I move on, and after this I'm going to play you a little bit of music just to give you a chance to digest all of what I've just said. Before you go chasing awakening, just stop. Look around the room you're in, the sacred building called L.E.O. Feel the air on your skin, hear the hum of your own pulse. That's it. That's all of it. You're not on the path. You are the path. So I really hope that resonates with some of you. And I want you to take it in, think about what I've been saying, see where you find yourself. And isn't it interesting when we think about it like that? I have no problems in this moment. So, where do they come from? So I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to play little Christmassy songs again by Kevin MacLeod. But I'm going to let you really sort of digest this. I hope you enjoyed that. And then when I come back after the music, I am going to crack on with the questions, the Q&A. So thank you for joining me. So if you want to either sit there, just digest that information, listen to music, or you can take this opportunity to grab yourself a drink, maybe the same treat, and then I will be right back after this. Yeah, so there you go, that music again by Kevin MacLeod. His whole music is available online and it's free to use for everybody. He just asks that you accredit work yourself. And I have actually no problem doing that. So, here we go. So, these questions have come in since I've been doing the December episodes and the TikTok as well. So they've come in on various different platforms, and there's a couple that I was asked in person, but I've just printed them all out, put them all onto, just literally listed them. I think there's 35 questions. I don't know how far we get through today, but I'll just start and we'll see how far we get through, and if we don't get them all done today, we can certainly carry on and do it and come back to them another day. So, here we go. Are you ready? So before I do start, I'm just going to say a little prayer because I don't know what's coming. And, I just want to make sure that I get the correct space to be able to answers that question. So you can take this moment. You can either close your eyes, bear with me, or you can just use this moment. Our Father, the Almighty, the Giver, the Searcher, the Taker, the Creator, the Destroyer, the all or nothing, the Traveller, the Firehead Seeker, the Soldier. Hear my word, forget them not, their dealings with the body of my life, in my fasting, every joy, my thoughts of that heart. Find their strength, and may you help me answer these questions with honesty and from the place of my heart. May you also put a protection layer around me, as I do know what I don't know necessarily all the questions. And as always, I will be broad, honest, and open. Let's go. You see, so some little pairs that you don't, it doesn't have to be a master stroke, and just, for me, that's just calling my higher power into this part of the day. I always, like I said, I always do my full meditation prayers in the morning anyway, but I do want to put this extra protection around it. So, let's stop rabbiting on about divinity, and let's get into the questions. Number 1. Right. What was your first Christmas like, clean and sober? Wow. That's a great question. Difficult. It was hard. I was very, very early on in the journey of being present. I was quite, obviously, I was early on in journey of recovery, and this time of year particularly, when you've lived a life and done lots of research is how we call it, lots of littered bad behaviour behind me, abusing, I have destroyed everything and everyone around me. So when I got to this time of year, the first thing that was really difficult and very emotional was the lack of people around me. So that was difficult. Then there's the what I used to call the triggers and cravings, the smells, the aroma, the way everybody starts to cheer up and they get into that party atmosphere. And that was very, very challenging. And it's about, I just had to remove myself from certain situations. I wasn't emotionally intelligent enough. I didn't have the emotional capacity to deal with the idea of Christmas. However, what I will say is once you get through that first one, for me, I found great peace in it. And it was a huge part of my growth. Being able to move forward, being able to do it, and then knowing that going forward it is possible. Because let's face it is the hardest time in life, and it's not just your normal addictions or contradictions this time of year. You know, I don't think people necessarily realise that there are all sorts of addictions out there. And, you know, this time of year is a time where people like to indulge, they like to, like all sorts of things. And so it can be a very difficult time of year for every kind of addiction. And then, like I say, there is that loneliness I speak about. It can be very difficult early on. But the things I did, I stayed in my rooms. I found online recovery rooms. And I made sure I wasn't alone. I didn't want to be, on my own throughout the Boxing Day, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve even. And if you look, there are rooms that will be open throughout those times, and that really helped. Yeah. Gentlemen, ladies, David was preaching tonight. So, sorry, I just had what we call a 12-step call, I guess. Somebody reaching out, and they're okay. So, we are going, and that's really important. See, no matter what time of the day it is, it's 10 to 5 in the morning, I'm always here. So, next question. How do you deal with people drinking or using around you? Now, that's a really, really powerful question. So, there are some things that you learn along this journey. One of them being how to set boundaries. And boundaries are about self-care. It's not about, being mean to anybody or thinking you're better than anyone else or anything like that. It's boundaries are there to protect them and to protect us. So nowadays I don't go to, and this is a personal choice, and it will all depend on your own journeys. But I don't frequent places that where those things are happening. So I don't. If somebody is having a birthday, for example, and they're all going out to celebrate, if that person wants to see me, and I want to be a part of that person's celebration, for me, I don't need to go to the place where I know that behaviour is going to be going on. Instead, if it's truly about the meeting and about the celebration of the life and the birth, then we can go and meet anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a place that revolves around old habits. As for, the question about using around me, I found that I had to cut myself off from my old life completely. I had to remove myself from anybody living that way. Now, again, that's personal choice, but for me, the idea of moving forward is to change who I am, become who I was meant to be. I am I. But equally, I don't then, if I'm trying to move forward and there are people still using that behind me, then for me, I want to move away from that. And the only way I can do that is by putting boundaries around. But here's the thing, if it happens and I'm somewhere, and because you are going to come across it, okay, I'm not there to control anybody else. I'm not there to stop anybody else from doing any of those activities. It's not my place, it's not my job. I just want to make sure that I don't do those things. And so I just allow, other people, and some people that don't have the addictions and afflictions and contradictions. There are some people out there that can actually do these things sensibly, reasonably, and not cause themselves or anybody else carnage and chaos around them. Unfortunately for me, that wasn't the case. Whenever I engaged in those activities, I used to break out in what we call new bracelets. Or I'd wake up in padded rooms, So I just don't want to live that life. So it was about setting boundaries. What was the hardest part about early sobriety during the holidays? Oh Jesus, yeah. So like I said, the loneliness. Oh man, that deep, dark loneliness. Like even if you were surrounded by people, you would feel completely alone, disconnected, disjointed, confused, bewildered, baffled, not knowing what was really going on. With the world getting brighter and colours being brighter and smells being more prominent, and you could see more clearly. But with that clarity becomes loneliness, and then there's that temptation, the triggers, like I say, the smells, the music, the party vibes, those emotions, those memories come flooding back. But what I found was that all of that would pass. Everything is energy, and I allow it to flow through you, become the river, not the rocks. Allow it to go around you, above, through you, whatever it is, because it will pass. It ought, for me, it has passed. And then eventually, I got to a place where peace replaced chaos. Because I used to live in absolute chaos and carnage, and I lived that way for a long, long time. And I don't have to do that anymore. This next question just follows on beautifully. Do I miss the chaos? Or is peace enough now? I love that question. I absolutely do not miss the carnage and chaos at all. Now, as some of you know, I was still homeless a couple of months ago. The last 3 to 5 years have been absolutely it's one of the toughest years of my life, the 3 years in particular. In and out of accommodation, on the road, off the road, homeless, then not homeless. It's been a journey, and because of that sort of life, there was still a lot of chaos within my life. There was still interactions with authorities I didn't necessarily want, that didn't necessarily go well. There was the places I was living, so there was people around me, especially in emergency houses. It's not like they put the clean people with the clean people and the sober people with the sober people, and the mental well-being people with the mental well. No, they just don't give a monkeys. It's not like that. They just stick you all together. They don't care what a mismatch it is. And so I have been surrounded in chaos in the last 3 years. Now, despite having been surrounded by chaos for 3 years, being shoved into places where old habits were just shoved in my face, I didn't quit. I didn't go back to it. I didn't give in. I found peace in the chaos through my prayers, through my meditations, through my connection with my online family. And that kept me going. And no, I do not miss the chaos. Not one little bit. I do not miss that person I was. I absolutely never want to be that again. And the beautiful thing is I don't have to be. And is peace enough? Oh, I love peace. My home is my temple. I have soft lights. I have either red lights or a low glow white light. I'm surrounded by everything that reminds me of my gods and the old ways. I breathe and meditate my prayer. When people come to see me, they often say how calming the energy is as soon as you walk into my accommodation, into my temple, into my apartment. And I wish that I could stay in this peace forever. I do my silent meditations. I do those between any time, any length of time, from an hour to 7 days has been my longest. And when I sit in silence and I meditate, I have found out and discovered that silence, when you sit there, is the loudest thing you can ever experience. It's where the soul speaks to you, the universe connects with you. And if you're a believer in faith, your higher powers can reach you. So yeah, I absolutely love peace, and it will always be well and truly enough for me. How do you stay grounded when emotions are high? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm human. We're all human. But what do I do to make sure it doesn't happen too often? Well, meditation again. Meditating is so important for me. Now, meditating can come in many different forms, but I'm talking about the deep kind of meditation, the time where you really just slow yourself down. I put music on, I've got breathing techniques that I do. I'll do a meditation with you guys soon. Actually, I'll do a guided meditation, and we'll go through emotions, and I'll see if I can take you on a spiritual journey. And that really does help. And then there's the praying. Also movement. I find, I'm lucky. I've got my Marley Moon, my support dog, and although I'm not as mobile as I once was, and I have to walk with a walking aid, that helps. It takes me out of my head. Now, there is a saying in recovery. It's called HALT. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Because those things can absolutely destroy my emotions and my ability to contain them. So yeah, meditation, prayer, and journaling. Journaling's massive for me. That's what this has become, my podcast and the other stuff I do. It's a form of journaling for sure. What's one habit that's helped you stay on the path this year? Gratitude. The attitude of gratitude. Now, I never knew what true gratitude looked like before coming into this way of life. And within the groups I go to, there is one homie over in the States in particular who just used and still does ooze gratitude, like I've never seen before. And this person, through watching them grow and develop and how grateful they were for all of the little things, it rubbed off on me. And that has absolutely been instrumental in keeping me moving forward, especially when I had nothing, especially when I was on the canals or out on the road, on the streets. Being grateful to find somewhere dry, being grateful to have a sleeping bag, being grateful to wake up in one piece with all my belongings around me. Those things are hugely, hugely important, and it was only by finding gratitude in the darkest moments for the smallest things that really truly got me through some of my darkest, deepest moments. Another thing that helps is the nightly inventory, as we call it. So writing down things that you did during the day, things that, looking at the patterns where things went wrong as well, that helped. And then just having routine. I always thought routine took away freedom, and now I find it gives me structure and balance, and more freedom than I've ever had. What's the best piece of advice you've received in recovery? Don't drink or use, no matter in what. Don't do it, no matter what. That simple as that. If you don't take the first, then you won't go on to do the rest. Do not take the first, and then you won't go into the rest. Because once you take the first, you can't quench the thirst of whatever it is. Whatever we're talking about, it's all the same. Once you start, you can't stop. We're like Pringles, we pop them open. Once you pop, you can't stop. That's what it's like to be us, to be on this journey. And again, try to remain grateful. And just simplify everything. Simplify everything. Don't overcomplicate stuff. We are complicated people trying to implement a simple way of life. What would you tell someone who's just had a relapse and feels hopeless? Well, first thing, that they're not broken. You're human. It can happen. It's absolutely part of my journey. That phone call I received a minute ago was somebody reaching out for help, and I was able to help him. And now I will check in on him once he wakes back up. So it's important that you let someone know they're not broken, that it can happen. And the comeback can start right there, right in that moment. No shame, only courage. No guilt, only forward movement. Yeah, that's important. What's your biggest fear in sobriety right now, and how do you face it? Well, this is a tough one for me to answer now, because I don't know that I don't allow fear to consume me, because fear used to run my life, and fear is illogical. Let me put it that way. Fear is illogical. It will have you thinking some of the craziest things for absolutely no reason. In the beginning, it was fear of failure. It was fear of not knowing who I was or who I was going to become. It was the loneliness, fear of being alone, the feeling of not fitting in, the feeling of not being accepted, the feeling of being different and not like everybody else. And over time, I overcame that through faith, not religion. Now you can be religious. I'm not saying there's no problem with that. I'm not. I have faith, and I'm spiritual. And then through my faith and my action and my tribe, make sure you find a tribe, a group of people that you resonate with, connect with, and because you're going to need them along the way. You really are. I mean, our tribe just had a bit of a big storm come in, rocked the boat. And now we're sailing off, we sailed through it, and now we're going to sail off into the sunset again and carry on together. So you can't do this on your own. Fear will strip you of any kind of common sense, I guess. The faith and action and tribe is huge. My other phone's going again, so I'm going to do another question, and then I will see the show out for today, only because this person seems to need some help. There's no issue with that whatsoever. So, how do you keep faith when life doesn't go to plan? when life doesn't go to plan. You think I've got a plan for this stuff now? No way. I have an idea. I have things that I like to do. I have a routine. I have a structure, but it's fluid. You know, I aim to get up around this sort of time each morning. I don't really set an alarm, and if I do, sometimes I get up with it, sometimes I don't. I don't beat myself up about those things. Because what I discovered very early on, I can have the best laid plans in the world. I can have my whole day planned out to the millisecond. And then my beautiful higher power, which I call Odin, for you it can be whatever it is, tends to come along and say, no, so this is going to happen, and now that's changed your whole day. What are you going to do about it? And I used to get frustrated at first. Oh, this isn't the day I wanted, this isn't what I wanted to be doing, it's not going my way. So now instead I get up, I have my routines, my rituals, but they're fluid. It doesn't matter if it's not strict. It's not about consistency, not strictness. Consistency is key. It's absolutely crucial. And like I say, whenever I have some real big set plans, Odin loves to come along and just say, nah, mate, that's not where I want you over here. And just when I feel like things are going well and I think I've figured it out and this is the direction he wants me to go in, no, he throws another curveball in. So, you just have to keep, like, for me, it's not even just faith now, it's a knowing. It's a knowing that my higher power feel. It's a knowing that if I just allow him to guide me or them to guide me, I will end up exactly where I was supposed to. And that's life in a nutshell. You are always exactly where you're supposed to be at any given moment. You cannot be anywhere else. It's impossible, because right now, even if you wanted to be somewhere else, you can't. Because you are where you are now. You see? Everything always comes back to the now, to the present. And so the fears, the worries and everything else, we walk into them or we pull them into our present. And isn't that a paradox? But isn't that beautiful to know that we don't have to? We can leave the problems in the past, or we can leave them ahead of us, because why do we pick them up? Why are we so interested in grabbing them? So, I'm going to leave it there. We only got through 10 questions, I know, but it's definitely going to give you some food for thought. I think we'll do 10 at a time, actually. I shall be working on the next show later on. I hope this has resonated with you. If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know about it. If there's people out there struggling, please direct them to this as well, because it can help. It really can. And if you've got any more questions, keep them coming in, because all I'll keep adding to these now. We'll do 10 a day. And I'm going to, the shows are getting a bit longer, which I'm loving. And sometimes I have to cut them a bit shorter, like today I'm having to come away, but that's fine. Again, see, I had a plan. My plan was to do this show this morning, then go back to bed for a couple of hours. Now my higher powers come along and said, somebody needs you. And I get to be there, I get to serve, and I love that. I find that beautiful. And that's what the program's about, finding a tribe, connecting, and making sure you don't leave any of the wanderers, daywalkers, creatures of night, or anybody else falling. So I can't thank you guys enough for being here once again. I hope your day is full of joy and that the gods are with you today. I'm going to play one more Christmas song, and then I'll put the outro on, and then I will go about my day. So thank you again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. And remember, if you like my material, if benefits resonate with you, please follow, like and share. For now, my wonderful tribe, I will leave you. So may the gods be with you. Scott. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, daywalkers, creatures of the light, warriors and wanderers, and everybody else in between. Thank you for joining me. This was the #1 podcast on the infinite frequency. I am, as always, L.E.O. Thank you for joining us. Again, like, share, subscribe, follow, and I will see you later on. Have a beautiful day, and may the gods be with you. Skull.